Welcome back to the channel, boys. Fabloonski's coming at your neck with this 100 resilience Icefall Mantle build. Now, I was able to get this exotic. I did the solo lost sector. It was a pain in the ass. It was pretty hard, actually. But if you're just patient, you have the right build, you can get through it. It's honestly just a test of patience and how well you can control yourself, because it's pretty tedious, the strat I did. But as long as you can keep that up and play smart, you can do it. I'm gonna put a video out on the build that I use, but for right now I want to focus on Icefall Mantles because this is the new exotic and I haven't seen anybody with it. Honestly, I was the first in my clan to get it. I haven't seen anybody, Crucible, Strikes, anything. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. So obviously I'm gonna be running the Behemoth subclass. I've got Cold Snap Grenades, I got the Crowdclasm aspect, and then I have the Whisper of Shards fragment, mainly because it gives me plus 10 on resilience, which is going to open up some other mod slots on my armor for me. And plus I get bonus grenade recharge rate, when I shatter any stasis crystals and all that. So it's a pretty good fragment overall for anything, no downside to it. Plus 10 resilience and you get grenade recharge, I'll take that. So I did take this into a Nightfall. So my loadout consists of a pulse rifle for anti-barrier. I got surplus and wellspring on the new Europa pulse rifle. I have Adored, I have triple tap vorpal weapon. I'm using the PvE role for Adored, and then I'm rocking Heir Apparent. This is a pretty important part of the build, mainly because you get that shield. My whole goal for this build is to become like literally a walking tank. So because of the arc shield you get from Heir Apparent, it also stacks with the shield you get from Icefall Mantles. So this is a really good way to just literally tank so much damage. Plus Heir Apparent shreds through ads, absolutely shreds through ads. I was lucky enough to buy it from the new exotic, kiosk thing before it got removed. Right now you cannot buy this, so if you don't have it, maybe they're going to re-release it in some kind of quest or something like that. Maybe it'll come out in the next Guardian games, who knows. But if you're fortunate enough to get it before it got taken out of the exotic kiosk, you gotta try this out. As for my stats, we're rocking 54 mobility, which is actually kind of important for this build, and I'll get to that in a second. We got 101 resilience, which means my class ability is on a 14-second cooldown. But I think that when you're using Icefall Mantle, it's not 14 seconds. I tested it with Icefall Mantle after you're able to get your shield back. It's much longer than just any regular barricade. So I don't know. I don't think it's 14 seconds, but I still believe that having 100 resilience is going to shorten that cooldown anyway. We got 47 recovery, 39 discipline, 64 intellect. I am using some super regenerating mods, so I'm kind of happy that this is like this. And then we got 30 strength. So let's start with my helmet here. We got hands on, gain bonus super energy on melee kills. We got machine gun ammo finder. I'm using Heir Apparent and I want to use it a lot, so I need to have the most machine gun ammo possible. And then we're rocking powerful friends. Now you would wonder why I'm using this, because why not just use the one that gives you plus 20 strength? Well, I'll get to it in a second, but Icefall Mantle, you really sacrifice a lot of mobility when you're using it, so I need to increase my walk speed as much as possible, which is why I'm using hands on, because when paired with any other arc mod, you get that plus 20 mobility. So there's a really good synergy right here, and especially for this build, you're gonna want pretty high mobility. So my gauntlets are Icefall Mantle, the new exotic for Beyond Light. The armor perk that comes on is Glacial Guard, replaces your barricade ability with a personal armor reinforcement that absorbs a small amount of damage. By the way, it is not a small amount of damage. It can actually take a pretty good amount of damage. While reinforced, you are slowed and barricade does not recharge. And when it says slowed, it doesn't mean that you just sprint slower or whatever. You cannot slide, you cannot sprint, you cannot use your jump ability. You can use your regular jump, but you can't use like the Titan jump. You can't use, you can't do that. And your barricade doesn't recharge. Plus, your regular, your overshoot has a longer recharge. So it doesn't mention that, but you really sacrifice a lot with this exotic. As for my mods, I'm rocking a machine gun loader. I took this into a Nightfall, so I got anti-barrier pulse. And then we're rocking energy converters, so when I become charged with light, I consume my stacks, I get some super energy back. Gonna help with the ad clear. I'm rocking the Behemoth class, so I really like this. I also want to try this with Titan Bubble, but right now I'm just obsessed with stasis, so I didn't want to switch off of that. So this will actually be pretty good with Titan Bubble as well. On my chest piece, we're rocking a minor resilience mod, give me that plus 5 resilience. We got machine gun reserves, increase the amount of machine gun ammo I can carry. We got concussive dampener, so that way I can just tank even more damage. Some of the hard hitting attacks are concussive AoE attacks, so this helps reduce that damage. And then we got supercharge, so I can have 4 stacks of charge right now as opposed to just 2. Helps with that energy converter mod I just showed you. On my legs, we're rocking another resilience mod. We got machine gun scavenger, so I get bonus ammo whenever I pick up any machine gun ammo. We got traction because I really want to increase my mobility as much as possible with this. Plus this costs 0. I don't know if this is a bug or not, but it literally costs 0. And we're rocking sustain charge, become charged with light by rapidly defeating combatants with auto rifles, trace rifles, or machine guns. Additional copies of this mod increase the time allowed between combatants that are defeated. I mean, I'm using heir apparent, which shreds through mobs, so pretty good with that. I can become charged with light pretty easily just running around with my machine gun. I really like it. Really good for this build too, because the more stacks I have means the more super energy I can get back. And on my Titan mark, I'm rocking another resilience mod. We got distribution, reduces all ability cooldowns when using your class ability near enemies. I usually just wait until I'm surrounded, then pop my overshield and just go to town and get my grenade and melee back. Get some energy, you know, it's better than nothing. And then I got taking charge, become charged with light by picking up an orb of power. Now unfortunately I don't have heir apparent masswork. I don't even know if there is a catalyst for it. I don't think so, but this just comes from other orbs of power, or if I don't have any machine gun ammo, I have masswork weapons. So there you go, pick up any orb of power, become charged with light. So let's talk about this exotic. I tried out so many different setups, loadout setups, builds, different type of stats to see where I could, maybe get this to work. And although I think that maybe this does have a place in maybe some of the end game content, I believe that some of the movement trade-offs you have to do just to get that overshield isn't worth it in my opinion. Although the overshield is pretty strong and you can tank a pretty good amount of damage, pair that with heir apparent and that overshield it provides, you become pretty tanky. But I personally think that it's way more beneficial to be able to sprint, slide, jump, use your Titan jump. I think that if they just made it so that way you could use your Titan jump with this, it'd be a lot better. But the fact that you can't do anything, you're literally stuck to walking. And another thing that I really hate about this exotic is the fact that you cannot cancel your overshield. Let's say that you pop it and maybe it wasn't the best time to pop it, or all the ads die and you used it because you thought you were going to take a lot of damage. That's it, you're committed. You cannot cancel it. You are stuck to just walking around. If you have low mobility, you are going to be lagging so behind. I tried canceling maybe with the melee ability and nope, it didn't cancel. The only thing that cancels it is if you pop your super. But why would you pop your super if there was no ads to kill? It would be a waste just to get some speed back. I don't know, I think that it's a lot of trade-offs just for an overshield, which I don't know, I feel like it's just too much for me personally, that I'm giving up to get that overshield. I'd much rather use Titan Bubble with the melee that gives you an overshield and get my overshield that way, although that the overshield that Icefall Mantle provides is much stronger than the Top Tree Bubble overshield with the melee. I still would rather do that, or just use Helm of Satan 14, and then every time you leave and re-enter your Titan Bubble, you get an overshield. I'd much rather just get an overshield those ways, as opposed to sacrificing all my movement options, not being able to cancel it, and being so committed that that's it, I'm just walking around. It was fun, being able to tank all that damage, but I don't know. I feel like it's too much of a trade-off for me, which is why I probably won't be using this right now. I'm going to test it again once I'm of level to do like the higher master GM content. But then again, I would just rather use Izanagi's. But let's see. I'm going to try it out later on once I'm higher level, and we'll see how it is. But if you guys like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. It truly helps me out a lot. You can also check out my other videos. Links are in the description below. I have a lot of crazy builds, so go ahead and check that out. And you might as well follow my social media. I have a Twitter and an Instagram, both at @fat_Bloonskis. But with all that being said, deuces.